Hello everyone, just booting up the old Sega Dreamcast and trying out the capture card I'm using to see how it looks on here. And what better way to show it off than play Half-Life on the Sega Dreamcast. Now you may be thinking that, wait a minute, I don't really remember playing this on the Dreamcast. Hell, I don't remember this even being released for the Dreamcast. That's kind of true. Basically what happened was, the game was cancelled 2 weeks prior of release. Obviously what you see there is Valve is the one that created the game. Sierra Online Studios was going to release it, publish it, and Gearbox Software was in charge of the port of the Dreamcast version. For the most part, the game runs okay on the Dreamcast. Obviously, this game is pushing the Dreamcast hardware to its limits. So if you're wondering just how good of a game a first-person shooter game can look on the Dreamcast, well, this is pretty much it. And it was kind of unfortunate that this was not released on the Dreamcast. It was going to be one of those games that really proved that you can have good PC ports on a home console. Now, of course, with today's hardware, it's pretty much neck and neck in terms of graphical capabilities. Now, I know there are some of you that are going to say, it's like, oh, PC games, they always look better. For the most part, it's true, but, back in the day, in order to play these higher-end PC games, you have to have a pretty expensive rig. And the fact that the Dreamcast at the time was the forefront of PC ports onto Sega's hardware was really a first. For a true near experience on a home console. Now, graphically, for the most part, looks fine to me for a Dreamcast game. The frame rate does take a hit. There are some cases where it would be essentially like a slideshow, so that can throw you off. And also the way the controls takes a little bit of getting used to. If you're someone that recently started playing older systems but never really played them in the past, you're going to notice that the controls for, like on the Dreamcast, N64, things like that, in the day and age with dual analog sticks and Wii controls, things like that, well, back on the Dreamcast and even on the N64 and to some extent the Sega Saturn, they only had one analog stick. So in order to move around, you use the buttons to run forward, back, strafe, left, and right, and then you use the analog stick to look around. The right trigger shoots, but here comes the weird part. In order to switch weapons, you have to hold down the left trigger and then press left or right on the D-pad to select your weapon. That takes a little bit of getting used to, and that really slows it down when it really shouldn't, really. But luckily, if you have a Sega Dreamcast mouse and keyboard for the system, plug that in and it will work. I looked it up, and this game does support the Dreamcast mouse and keyboard. I kind of wish I had one to try it out to see how well it works, and I'm pretty sure it will work a lot better than using the Dreamcast controller. But I don't think it's necessary to get a keyboard and mouse for the Dreamcast just to play this game, when honestly you can just go on Steam, download the game on there, and just play it on your PC when the game is going to look better and it's going to run smoother. This is more for Dreamcast enthusiasm like me that wants to experience the Dreamcast version of this game. and it's not too bad. It's not ideal, but it's not bad either. And in order to reload, you have to hold down the left trigger and press up on the D-pad, I believe. Up or down, one of those two. But anyway, I'm just rambling on and on. So that's pretty much it. Like always, have a good one, and enjoy the rest of this video.